Hi everyone, this is Richard. In this video, we're going to install the Atom editor in Windows. Okay, so as I mentioned in the previous video, we have been using the Dartpad this whole time just to learn the basics, and it actually works quite well. But for getting more advanced features of not just the language, but the tools to help us with the language, we're going to need something a little stronger. Webstorm is the official recommendation, I think from Google, as the IDE, the Integrated Development Environment, or the editor, as the development platform for Dart. But WebStorm is it's a big system. It's for developers, it's for professional people, and it does cost money. The Atom editor is a lot more stripped down, a lot more basic, which in some ways it's not as good because it doesn't have as much features, but in some ways it's extremely good for especially beginners like us just learning the language and just learning to program. So let's go ahead and start with this. Here's my cheat sheet, okay? There's several ways of installing Dart on Windows. This is my favorite. I think several other people have mentioned that they like this way too. This is the Atom installer. This is the community installer, not officially supported by Google, but at the same time, or the Dart team specifically. But I really like it a lot. It's pretty simple, straightforward, very well done, but it's done by a community member, George Kormaris. I think that's how you pronounce that. And just want to say thank you very much for this because honestly, it makes my life a lot easier. Okay, it's unknown. I think it's probably safe to do. This actually takes quite some time to install. Let's go ahead and do that. While we're doing that, let's install the Atom. And then we hit the download Windows installer right here, and it downloads right inside of here as well. Let's check the status of that. This actually takes quite some time. As time is going by, we can do several things at the same exact time. We will download Dartium. Now what Dartium actually is, Dartium for Windows, we'll download that right here. We won't necessarily use it, but we'll just download it for right now. What Dartium actually is, it's like Chromium, but instead of a JavaScript, which is the language, a JavaScript virtual machine, Dartium uses the Dart virtual machine. So in other words, it's not something you would browse the web with or anything like that because none of the JavaScript programs will work with Dartium. It's just a development tool to help you out to speed testing your own applications in Dart. Eventually we're going to get the Dart language and compile stuff to JavaScript. That's a little bit far away. In the future, we're not going to use this. In the near future, we're not going to use Dartium, but rather when we go through web programming, that's a different series altogether. Okay, so this should be ending up pretty soon. Finished. Now let's install Atom. This takes a little bit of time too, not too long, I think. Okay, I think that's all we need for the browser, so let's close that down. Set the environmental variables. Actually, we don't really need to do that much. I learned a couple of things since I first started installing this. I installed it multiple times just to get it as nice and straightforward as possible. Notice I did it in this particular order. Install the Dart editor. I'm sorry, the Dart SDK software development kit, and then I installed Atom on top of it, and that's on purpose because once Atom is installed and sees Dart in there, it searches for it, and then it goes ahead and makes some adjustments. So as Atom is being installed, notice right down there 2 updates, and it found the Dart SDK already. Click on the updates. And this is the Dart plugin for the Atom editor. Update all, and it starts installing it. Shouldn't take too long. Now I want to check a couple of things out. I want to get the command line. Several ways of doing it. You can hit the Windows button, which is on the left lower corner of the keyboard, right next to between the Control and Alt. Press that as well as the X, and you'll get this. And you can hit Command Prompt. So we need the command line or the terminal. You can hit Control Alt Delete, and then hit Task Manager, and then hit more details, File, Run New Task, and then type CMD. Okay, you can do that also. Or, finally, you can open up a folder, and on any folder, you can just hit the Shift key and then right-click over any folder or any thing. I think it'll even work for... Nah, it won't work for files. It'll only work for folders. And hard drives as well. Open command window here. And then notice it'll open it to where it is, window. Okay, so Shift and right-click. Shift, right now, right-click, and then open command window here. Okay, we actually need to do that in a second. Once it's installed completely, Atom Editor is done. And then what I'm going to type here is pub global activate stagehand. I don't think that's installed. No, it's not. So I'm going to copy this, paste this here. It's going to install, and I need to set environmental variables. Start, settings, system, about. There might be an easier way to do this. I'm not sure if there is. System info. Let me know if there is, if anybody knows that. Advanced system settings, environment variables, okay? Then I'm going to hit a new, hit path, right here, and then down, where was that? The command, I'm going to copy and paste this right here. Control C, just copy it. And then I'm going to go back here and then Control V to paste it. And that works. And basically by doing that, it just says, if I have a command here like stagehand, and I actually type this, oh, wait a minute. Okay, if I actually typed in stagehand, it didn't actually recognize that, remember? So how do I get this again? I'm going to hit the Shift, right-click. You have to close it down, open it again. So if I type stagehand, the operating system basically says, I don't know what you're talking about before, right? Because it was had an error. Now when I type it, because I changed the environmental variable, it sends a message to that location in the environmental variable. Where did that go? And right here, that's where there is a command that says, this is what stagehand actually means, okay? We're not going to do that right now. That's for the next video. This was just meant to set everything up, and now in the next video, we're going to go over how to actually use the Atom Editor specifically with the Dart plugin. Thanks.